Hi, my name is Baha Blood, joined here by the Trekkers Off 82 and CZeek. And we are coming at you with the first match of the 6th and final round of the Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament. Following this, we'll be cutting it down to the top 8 and proceeding to the bracket stage. So, Diggle and Elias today are both racing. Their current record is 4-1 each. And basically, the way it's kind of shaken out, a 5th win will definitely put you in the top 8. And at 4-2, it is possible that they will make the top 8 still, but it comes down to the wins of the tiebreakers. So it'll kind of depend on how the rest of the round shakes up, which subset of the 4-2 players advance on. So definitely, both runners looking to take a win tonight and guarantee both entry into the top 8 and probably better seating positions. So we'll see how it goes. We do not have any runners agreements in place today, so we will have ship start, normal elevators, and our glitched suit nothing models. And we'll get underway with this alcove check. Both runners making quick work of the space jump first trick, and just a missile expansion here. So this will give us access to Artifact Temple and our hints. And space jump out of the ship, interesting. But it's not our logical missile, so there must be some sort of progression on Hive Mecha. Either the missile launcher or I guess Morph Ball could be to bring us back here to that space jump. So yeah, curious to see what we have in the way of artifact hints today. Both runners doing some nice little bunny hops here. Without too much else. Not too much you can do to speed up your movement in some of these rooms, but the bunny hops here and like some of the scan dashes that Diggle just did there can get you down here a little bit quicker. Diggle showed off if you hold the lock on to one of the artifacts as you come back up, you can get a bunch of scan dashes, climb back up quick, and then do one final scan dash back to the right. One of the best ways to climb this room if you don't have a boost ball. And yep, to answer a question in chat, only Reggie is sitting pretty at 5-0. So most likely we'll have maybe Reggie undefeated, and or a couple other players with 5 wins. And there might be somewhere on the order of 8 runners with 4 wins, only 4 of which will advance, something like that, kind of depending on how it plays out. So Diggle going to make the play down here to transport Tunnel B. It is always worrisome if you're going to leave some. It's a little bit slow kind of coming down here right away, but it's worrisome to leave something down here. Actually, explosives are kind of the best thing to find down here, because it's kind of nice to have something in Chozo. Although, honestly, we'll be pretty likely to be back here shortly anyways, just looking for that space jump boots. So, theoretically, you could see trying to skip it and pick it up once you have space jump, but definitely a valid play to come down here now as well. And Elias can make the same play. So both runners will be going into Chozo with an out-of-logic missile and an out-of-logic power bomb. Yeah, that's actually true. It actually could easily have been Morph Ball with something like the main missile launcher being on Hive Mecha. So yeah, that's That is kind of scary to leave behind, actually, now that I think about it, even knowing you'll be back to Artifact Temple. What was that on the half-pipe ledge? I'll have to take a look when Elias climbs this. It's in the main plaza here. I think I'll take a little bit of a early game lead here, just through some movement. I know Diggle has a lot of speedrunning experience, so it's shown off some very nice movement here so far. Ooh, and there's our Varia suit. Oh, gravity suit. Gravity suit's an interesting thing to find. Actually kind of makes the for your crash site item maybe more difficult to pick up than if you don't have it. There is some standable you can use. Maybe a Morph Ball just on Hive Mecha. So logically the seed wanted us to... Oh, that is a rude spot for the main missile launcher. Luckily with expansions counting as missile expansions, that wasn't too bad. But logically you were expected to come all the way here, grab that Morph Ball, go back to the ship for Space Jump, use Space Jump to climb the vault ledge, and go... Wait, no, that means bombs are somewhere before missiles. Because you need bombs to get into transport access north from the back. So bombs cannot be missile locked. So where are they? There's not a ton of places they can be. Charge is a starting item in the basic tournament preset here, so both runners started with it. Elias here picks up that Morph Ball, and we'll get this missile launcher. Diggle gets Space Jump, we'll take this to FCS. With Space Jump and Gravity, this item is very easy to pick up. Oh, actually, yes. I bet bomb... No, wait. But this requires missiles too. Yeah, I'm very confused. I wonder... What is... Where are these bombs? And Elias is going to take the save warp here as well. Definitely makes sense. Go get that space jump as quickly as possible. Just makes movement through this game so much cleaner. That you definitely want to get it as soon as possible. Probably will make the play and if forget crash as well. Diggle going to go for the root cave climb. Gets the scan dash first try. Very nice. Diggle also goes for the Arbor Chamber Autobombs up here. I would guess Diggle is still comfortable with this even without bombs. There's a slightly higher risk of soft locking if you get on some of the non-standable terrain up here. And yep, does appear to be going for this. Straight to the standable, very nice. And in, very nice. Just for an E-Tank, but at least can have this check off her mind and not need to come back here later. And honestly, the first couple E-Tanks are pretty handy to have just to allow you to move a little faster and not have to worry about health when you're taking some damage and stuff. Wait, were bombs just in main plaza? Maybe they're just one of these items. Yep, definitely. The first or second E-Tank. Oh, so Diggle's going to show off. So if you do a jump a certain way next to this tree, you'll actually get a very quick look at what the item is here. A little finicky, and you only get a tiny little look unless you Diggle might have seen it, or maybe he's giving up, but I did not see it. And I scanned it. Okay, bombs are up here. That makes sense. So Elias caught up, just by virtue of not doing the root cave play. Given that there wasn't anything up there, it's pretty good for Elias, although might lose a little bit of time later cleaning those checks up. What do we have here in Vault? Just a missile? Yep. Meanwhile, Elias is going to go straight into Ruined Shrine. A lot of checks here available with the items we have. Meanwhile, Diggle looks to be cleaning up the Hive Mecha loop. We can get the Ruined Gallery tunnel item. Always nice to get out of the way, because that check is easily forgotten if you don't pick it up quickly enough after getting bombs. Nothing really of value in Ruined Shrine. Elias is going to isolate the Ruined Gallery check and head into Mid-Chozo. See if anything is useful here in Ruined Gallery. Is there a Varia suit in Ruined Fountain? Oh my gosh. So, logically that is required Flagra. We will also logically need Spider Ball. In fact, we just straight up need Spider Ball one way or the other to grab that item. I would guess both runners are familiar with getting the Ruined Fountain item without fighting Flagra. But it's also entirely possible that Flagra just has Spider itself. Or it's right here in Watery Hall access. So Elias actually immediately... Oh no, is continuing into Watery Hall, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see Elias immediately head back to Ruined Fountain after clearing out this area to get that Varia suit. Diggle's going to clean up these Ruined Shrine checks. Yeah, Diggle's been very thorough. So we'll see if Elias ends up coming back to any of these checks later, or may end up taking a little bit of a lead just through skipping some checks here that happen to be not of significant value. Yeah, just a bunch of missiles here in Ruined Shrine. Artifact on lower Dynamo here, just a missile up top. I don't think either runner actually checked their hints yet, have they? If so, I didn't see them. Oh, someone's saying artifact in sun chambers. Okay. Anyone happen to put those in chat? Spider Ball was in Watery Hall access. Oh, here we go. So double required shorelines, interesting. So we'll need both plasma and supers. As well as this spider ball that Diggle... Is Diggle going straight for Flagra? That's an interesting play. Unfortunately, it's going to be lacking the spider ball. So if Diggle wants to do Ghost right away, which may be the check that actually has the artifact, we'll need to do the Earth Wild trick. Meanwhile, Elias is also heading... Oh, no, not climbing. Oh, this is right. This is a play for the Varia suit. Makes sense. And here we have Plant, or Plant.mp4 even. Space jump, definitely easy to jump straight to the bomb slots and damage them from the outside. Although these look like regular bomb slots, actually they are just objects that are damageable by bomb-type weapons, bombs or power bombs. So by jumping to the outside of the little track there, you can just lay some bombs, deal damage to the boss without having to go through the process of messing with all these mirrors. And yeah, I am not too familiar with it, but I think the idea is the plant music accidentally loops much, much faster than it was supposed to, so... Elias gets the Rune Fountain trick here with Spider, and so we'll not need to immediately fight Plant for the Varia suit, although we'll eventually still need to do it for the artifact. And he's going to make the play into Magma Pool. We don't logically have access to this without the main Power Bomb launcher, but can definitely pick this up fairly easily here, especially with Varia and Grapple. Oh, the pull track just doesn't exist. Interesting. Yep, nothing in Magma Pool. So yeah, curious to see if Flagra itself will actually be anything, or if it's just going to be the artifact. Or conversely, if the other sun... Well, whichever Sun Chamber check is the artifact, it will be interesting if the other one is actually valuable as well. So we can get a peek here as the cutscene of its death plays. It looked like a missile. Actually, not too surprising that it would be on Ghosts, given that the Shoreline's Lighthouse is one of the artifacts. If the artifact got placed at the time where you already had Supers and Spider, that means that the Shorelines and the Ghost check came into logic at the same time. So, yep. We'll need to pull off the early wild trick here, or we'll need to come back later with Super Missiles and Spider Ball. So for those unaware, the Ghost's fight is triggered by falling about halfway down this room. In fact, pretty much just like to the bottom of this spider track there. And so what you can do is you have a one shot basically to pull this trick off, where you can kind of hold yourself into this wall, which causes the... Wow, excellent job, Diggle. Which causes the Morph Ball to fall slower than it should and gives you time to basically do an infinite bomb jump back up this wall. And getting the unmorph is also fairly difficult. Need to be at the just the right height to not go too high or low to get in there. So, yeah, amazing work from Diggle there. It is not an easy trick. Fortunately, we have neither X-Ray nor Supers to make this fight any quicker. So we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. At least we do have Charge Beam. Fighting Ghosts without charge is quite dreadful. And yeah, we have a sort of a high five here in Sun Chamber. Elias working on Flagra, Diggle working on the Ghosts. So it'll be interesting to see if Elias doing these two checks now is going to be right by the Magmor elevator with Varia suit. So I would expect Elias to make a play straight into Magmor from here and not go back into mid to late Chozo. Whereas Diggle, I would guess, needs to pretty much continue into Chozo to find Spider Ball. And at that point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Diggle make the play into something like Zoid or Lower Furnace. So I think this will be interesting. I think it kind of the mid-game might come down to whether there's anything in these Chozo checks if Elias doesn't end up turning around here. Alright, last Ghost goes down, and Diggle will get the French Vanilla Artifact. Let's see if it's even of wild. Nope, actually with the cutscene covered up the actual HUD memo, so I won't actually get to see which artifact that was, but definitely good to have in hand here. And yep, Diggle is going to head back into Chozo here. We'll need to do a bomb jump over the wall here, having not lowered it to get into the fight. And gets the first try, very nice. So logically, to get Rune Fountain, you need Spider Ball and Beating Flagra to activate the fountain. But for our runners, Spider Ball alone technically gets you it, but it's kind of annoying NSJ, and Spider and Space Jump makes it fairly easy to acquire with some standable terrain. I think we're going to make these checks here in the Watery Hole area. There was one artifact back here. And we'll have that in hand in a moment as well. I don't think anything else of value is back here, though. Although I don't actually remember where that ice spreader was. Yep, Elias doesn't need to do the early wild trick. Having that spider ball, you can just roll down the ramp back up, and that'll take you low enough to activate the fight here. Yeah, the battle music has been playing for a while here. I'm actually not sure why it is still playing. We can allow up to 4 E-tanks to Elias's 1. Just kind of have that little extra bit of health. Yeah, I wonder if it's something to do with picking up the artifact or the item during the cutscene. Oh, there was Ice Spider. I'm not going to bother with it. Confident in her ice shot placement, which means that Ice Spider doesn't really save you that much time. And yep, luckily Energy Core here does have the sort of puzzle music or different ambiance, so we are rid of the beetle music. And Elias finishes the ghost fight, gets artifact number 2, and now I'm very curious to see which direction Elias goes. I suspect Magmore, but we'll see. And yep, is heading towards Magmore. Definitely a reasonable play at this point. It's a bit of a hike back to the area that Diggle is now in, especially given that you kind of cleared out a number of the easy checks there. Diggle's kind of left with the slower bunch of flamethrower behind Zoid. Excellent. So these checks are a little bit slower on average than the ones Elias has already done, so it makes sense to maybe just try to push into Magmore here, see if we can find some progression behind that Varia suit. Ooh, is going to take care of the Ruined Gallery check first, though. I think that is a good play. This item can definitely bite you if you leave it. Yeah, getting the push charge snipe is good, but if you get like the run by snipe, and you can get an ice beam shot during the turnaround, that already is pretty much as much damage as the ice spreader would have done. Granted, doing both of that is quite difficult, and so you might not be able to get it consistently, but yeah, if you are sufficiently good with ice beam, I don't think ice spreader actually saves hardly any time at all. And Zoid, unfortunately, just a missile and a flamethrower to use them with. Yes, Ice Spreader travels much faster and it homes, so it is far, far, far easier to hit Exo with it versus Ice Beam, which is the slowest beam weapon in the game. And given how much Exo likes to move around and how it has a fairly low, small hitbox, it can be pretty challenging to land those charge ice shots, but I've seen in some of Diggle's previous matches, she does a great job of landing all those shots. Ooh, Elias not taking this elevator. Maybe he hasn't seen Vault yet. Getting trolled a little bit by the piston here. I haven't seen it go down that way before, actually touching the left wall. Touching any of the walls as you morph will make the piston go down immediately rather than continuing upwards. It loses you a little bit of time. Normally people morph a little too close to the wall, the front wall, and have it do that, but I guess the side walls are a problem too. Just a missile up here in upper furnace. Don't think Diggle did the lower check yet, so we'll see what that is. Yeah, grapple was in the main plaza half pipe. Yeah, nothing of value here in Chozo, so the answer is Magmor, which will mean Elias is a little bit ahead here. Now I'll be curious to see if Diggle save warps and heads in through the Twin Fires elevator in Talon, rather than heading all the way back to the Sun Tower elevator. So we may have a little bit of a crisscrossing route here through Magmor. Yep, both runners have done all the checks in Shrine. The only things Diggle has done that Elias has not are the Root Cave and Arbor Chamber checks, to my knowledge. Oh, he's going to pick up this Iceberg here on the way back. Yep, Upper Furnace is in Logic. Climbing... that was camera, thanks. Climbing that room is in Beginner Logic. But Diggle was able to take a look at that, and there was just a missile up there, so... Heading back here for that Varia suit. And actually, I forgot Diggle hadn't picked this up yet, so... Probably takes this immediately into Magma Pool here. And then maybe can head to Sun Tower, because actually now that she's farther away from the save station, might just make sense to head in through Lava Lake. Kind of nice to route Magmor front to back in this situation, just so you don't have to be there anymore. And since you've cleared out everything else, you can feel pretty comfortable heading into Vendrana and knowing your wave beam or something immediately leading to it is in there. Always feels a little bad to head into Vendrana without wave, not find it there, and have to come back to a check you've skipped. So I could see why Diggle's kind of being thorough here in Chozo before making the Magmor play. But at this point, is I think exhausted everything outside of Magmor. Yep, wave beam could be vanilla, could be in Vendrana Canyon at the Vanilla Boost location. And then there's a few more checks here in Magmor we haven't seen yet. Although, I think only only Storage Cavern and Fiery Shores Lower are going to be in Logic currently, although we can acquire Triclops fit easily enough and the Powerbomb lock checks with our expansion. Live showing off a nice climb of Monitor Station there to get to the Warrior Shrine. Technically not in Logic without our boost ball, but definitely good to get this out of the way. And can also get the other item out of Logic with the Powerbomb we've acquired. Yeah, there are a million ways to climb this room and a million ways to climb Frigate Crash Site. Pretty much, for whatever entrance you come in and wherever you're trying to go, it seems like there's a different climb of Monitor Station to do that efficiently. Elias going to check the lower Fiery Shore item here. Is that Plasma Beam? Okay, well that definitely opens up our options in Vendrana for where this Wave Beam could be. Definitely a good find. So Elias may now make the play into Root Cave and Arbor Chamber, and yeah, indeed does seem to be heading that direction. So Elias is going to give up a little bit of their lead to kind of cover the ground that Diggle had already done, but this play definitely makes sense. You're never really going to be closer to these checks than you are right now. You have Grapple and Plasma to make it really easy to pick them up, so I like taking care of these now. And meanwhile, Diggle is into Magmor herself. Showing off kind of holding a lock-on as you progress through the doors. There's a few places in Magmor where this can kind of speed up some of the rooms where there isn't really much stuff to dash off of. So you can just dash off something from the previous room. Doesn't quite get the dash to pick up the Triclops item, but upon looking at it, decides wasn't really worth it anyways. At 4 E-tanks, I think Diggle will be fine for pretty much anything else the Seed has to throw at her. I don't dislike this play from Elias. The Plasma could be pointing you towards Arbor Chamber, so like it could be something stupid like an X-ray visor on shoreline or on not shorelines, because those are both artifacts, but in like Findorana Canyon or something that was supposed to direct you back here. So I like getting these 2 checks out of the way, just in case they were wave beam, and then you're not really losing much time heading back into Magmore from here. So I like this play. Diggle approaching Monitor Station. We'll see how she chooses to climb. May end up doing the same thing Elias did. Slow, not quite cooperating with her this time. Give it another go. There we go, nice. Alright, Elias back into Magmore. We'll get to take a look at Shore Tunnel on the way back to Monitor Station. And from there we'll probably climb up into Findorana. And that'll be pretty much a full clear of early Magmore for Elias. So yeah, I think this race is going to sync up quite a bit here, because Diggle is going to have no reason to go farther out of past here. He's going to turn around, and yeah, just like that, the runners are pretty much 1 room apart. And our Phazon suit in Shore Tunnel. Wow, with Plasma and Phazon suit already accounted for, the only thing that could make this seed super rude at this point is supers being somewhere troll. We do need those for the lighthouse item. But a wave or an ice go mode is not a bad go mode to have, given that so much of the game is locked behind those checks. This could well be a jet seed. But honestly, given where these artifacts are, I actually expect supers to show up pretty early. The rest of the artifacts all being pretty attainable without being deep in the game, just enough. Yeah, there's a serious limit to how troll this seed can be now. Frigate is pretty much off the table, given that the only real things we're looking for are wave and ice, and you need both of those to get through. Well, no, technically you only... Is that true? I think in these settings you need wave and ice, because I think you need wave to get to the back, even though you don't technically need it to do reverse frigate. Elias picks up artifact 3 here in Shorelines. We'll have to leave the other one, unfortunately. We're going for a little slope jump here up to the Chozo Ice Temple area. This is another artifact up there. Could also take a look at the Vanilla Wave item. Could opt to grab it via a Power Bomb lockpick strat as well. Elias is heading into Ice Ruins East. Both of these checks are quite easy to pick up here. Just a missile on the spider track, but we'll see what's behind the ice here in a moment. Or we saw it earlier and I just missed it. Yeah, Elias could also head into the Ice Temple area here. Yeah, this is shaping up to be one of the faster seeds we've seen in a while. There was one 45-ish minute race in round 1 of the tournament, but after that, pretty much all the seeds have been pretty long. And like that race was actually run on a different version of Randomania that was more likely to place all the progression early. So we really haven't been seeing anything like this recently. And of course, some of the credit for it being a jet seed just comes down to these runners who are showing off really nice movement. Is that Vanilla Wave Beam? So it is. Alright. Diggle getting trolled by the Shegoths here. When they decide that they want to face you, they will sometimes just like turn extremely fast for no reason and be impossible to shoot. But takes him down, and unfortunately doesn't have a power bomb in store for the Mama. We'll have to take her out with the plasma beam and/or bombs and/or missiles. And we'll opt for the missile strats. The rapid fire missiles can definitely take down Mama Shegoth pretty quick here. And just like that, down she goes. And there is our wave beam for Diggle, with Elias not too far behind. Elias going to use the plasma beam here. And there is Wave Beam for Elias. So Diggle will probably head into Ice Ruins East here to get those couple checks she had skipped earlier. Well, I expect to see Elias head into Ice Ruins West and onwards towards the labs area. Now, interestingly, we don't have Boost Ball or Supers. So logically, we can't get too much farther in Phendrana yet. We don't have supers for Hydra, and we can't get farther in labs logically without boost, although these runners, of course, will have no problems doing that if they choose to. And we don't have supers or thermal to get through Thardus Way. So unless something is here in like Ice Ruins West or Phendrana Canyon or Ruined Courtyard, the next logical progression may be back in Chozo or in Far Magmore. And yeah, Ice could certainly be vanilla at this point. Be a pretty rude location for it. Looks like shoreline or a canyon here was not the answer. I didn't get a great look at it from Elias' side, but let's see what Diggle finds. Just gonna blindly jump in there. Nice scan dashes for another E-Tech. This is quite a healthy seat here. And we have our super missiles. So again, the upper limit on how much of a troll this seed can be has dropped considerably. We are only missing our ice beam, so pretty much not gonna need to dip into mines at all this seed. Can it even be? Yeah, I don't think it can be in mines at all. Won't be in Far Phendrana. So yeah, pretty much just need track down that ice beam. Would be a little bit nice to have boost ball for Ridley. That fight takes a little bit of time if you don't have boost, but not really worth searching for, given that that could pretty much be anywhere in the game. So both runners, I believe, need to head back to the Plaza Tree with these super missiles. Otherwise, I believe they have both picked up everything else. Ah, right. Diggle just hadn't done either of these items. Knowing that she'd have to come back here, it makes sense. Looks like so. Diggle's going to press on at least a ruined courtyard. I would be hesitant to go past Hydra here, honestly. You're only looking for Ice Beam now, and there's pretty limited numbers of checks that it can be, unless it's like Boost Ball somewhere annoying in Chozo that opened up, and then you're supposed to come back here, which is possible. The only logical check we have in labs right now is Research Lab Hydra. So going past it feels a little bit risky to me. Unless you think that your Boost Ball is somewhere back in Chozo. Yep, Visor is definitely optional. It is certainly nice to have one, and then two is just kind of gravy from there. But yeah, I don't think either of these runners are going to spend time looking for a Visor if they are otherwise in go mode. Frigate has an Ice Beam door on both sides, so you can't get in there at all without ice. You don't need Wave Beam to go backwards, because the thermal locks don't stop you from going backwards. But I think you do need Wave Beam to like get to that area in Life Grove in these trick settings. So yeah, I don't think it can be anywhere in Farfindrana. I don't think it can be anywhere in Mines. Can't be in Life Grove area. Can't be in Frigate. Training Chamber's a possibility if Boost Ball's somewhere. Something like Workstation is a possibility if Thermal is somewhere. Just an E-Tank and Hydra. So Diggle is going to continue. And Elias also opted to continue through labs. So, no, this isn't logic, but it is still possible that a Boost Ball is somewhere else and that our Ice Beam is rudely back here in Deep Labs. And not too difficult to say warp out of here, so this is conservative, but it would be pretty painful to have to come all the way back here if you chose not to do this just because it wasn't in logic. Oh wow, Diggle with a cool observatory scan dash there. Yeah, Diggle is tightening this lead a little bit here with movement through labs, catching up to Elias here in Control Tower. Both runners will probably be in the room at the same time. Observatory was just a missile, looked like to me. And another missile here in Control Tower. Yes, Quarantine Monitor is a place that Ice Beam could definitely be right now. We have all the means to go all the way through Far Magmore to the Quarantine Monitor elevator and use Grapple to get across there without fighting Thardus. Yeah, Phase On Mining Tunnel could have like a Boost Ball or something like that. But yeah, they'll never need to go down there because all they need is Ice Beam, and you need Ice Beam to get to Phase On Mining Tunnel. It pretty much we will never see Labs this seed. There's no way. Just an E-Tank. So yep, Labs not the answer, and Elias resets out. So, where to now? Probably makes sense to head to Chozo, get that tree out of the way. Opened up with this Wave Beam, we have Tower Chamber, we have Training Chamber Access, and we don't have Crossway in Logic. We do have Vanilla Ice in Logic. Oh, that's true. Elias has done a lot less of Far Chozo. Yeah, so if it's something like a vanilla ice beam, Elias will probably be slower to it. Elias is going to go interesting. So I wonder if this is an attempt at Thardus skip into Quarantine Monitor. I like this play actually very much from Elias. This is really smart. And then if this is wrong, then you can say Vorp back to Chozo. Meanwhile, Diggle is going to reset here and head back to... Well, he's going to fight Thardus here. This I like a little bit less, but it is possible to play streams here if Thermal's somewhere accessible. Fortunately, we don't have a ton of power bombs here, so can't make use... Oh, we have no power bombs. That's actually doubly unfortunate. But with Plasma, can make fairly quick work of this boss. But yeah, I mean, even with this Thardus fight, which I think is unlikely to pay off, if Quarantine Monitor is the answer, Elias is going to be way ahead here. Yeah, but the Quarantine Monitor item is in logic without thermal coming through the back. So doing like a Thardus skip scan dash here feels really good to me because that check is super out of the way. And there's artifact number 6 for Diggle. We'll head into Tower Chamber. Well, that is true, actually. Main power bombs does have to be accessible somewhere. But it's possible, actually, main power bomb launcher is somewhere dumb like vanilla. And you were logically expected to go way into mines after finding Ice Beam and then come all the way back to Shore Tunnel. But, again, no need with the single expansion being enough to open those checks. No need to hunt for the main launcher. Yeah, I actually am very curious. I bet the main power bomb launcher is actually somewhere pretty cursed, given that it was probably placed after all the beams here. Or not. What do I know? Here's main power bombs. Alright, Elias close to done with Thardus here. Unfortunately, doesn't have a power bomb to skip the last phase, but is moving on to the core part of the fight. So there's one wave lock check here down to Chozo. That leaves us Training Chamber access, Vanilla Ice. And I think that's it. I think one of those two checks has to be the answer here. Or at least something to point us in another direction. And now we just have to hope that Diggle does not find Thermal Visor anywhere around here, because that would be terrifying. Oop, not quite getting the scan dash here, but with gravity is pretty easy to escape this. What's on Thardus? Was this the play? Just a missile. But we still have Quarantine Monitor, and I think that is a pretty... I don't know. I bet this is like... I would say this is like 25% to hit Ice Beam. It is not. Unfortunate. So Elias, if I would probably say we'll go take this workstation elevator, take a look at the workstation item, and probably save work back from there. It is unlikely that it is on workstation unless thermal is somewhere accessible here. But given that it'll be so close to it, probably is worth trying to take a look at here. And then we have a save station right here to get back to the start. Yeah, this looks pretty good for Diggle. She's already ahead, heading in this direction, has done more of the checks out this way. So I think this This might be a bit of a challenge here for Elias with the location of this ice beam. Wow, nice scan dash. Straight through energy core. Elias's last artifact is just on the main plaza tree, so he'll pick that up no problem once he takes the save warp, I assume, here out of the workstation. And then we'll probably be kind of following in Diggle's footsteps through Chozo, but we'll have to, what is likely to do stuff like Zoid on the way, which Diggle's already done, and that will only put Elias a little bit further behind, given the Diggle's already into where I assume this ice beam needs to be. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, it straight up has to be vanilla ice. Everything else up to this point could have been something else that locks ice, but vanilla ice itself just has to be ice because the power unlock pick is not in logic. So yeah, Diggle will be sub-hour go mode here, unless we are all forgetting about something. Diggle gonna go for the 3BJ here. First try, easy every time, except it's not. Very nice, Diggle. Doesn't even bother with the energy shield. I think at this point she has realized that it must be here. Well, no, Diggle hasn't done quarantine monitor, but there it is, and that is go mode. 51 minutes in, and we're right next to a save station. And Diggle is not save warping. I mean, I guess this is really not that much slower, and you get the one extra check. So if this is like something like Boost Ball here, this definitely pays off. So I can see trying to get the extra check on the way back, heading through Overgrown Cavern rather than taking the save warp. Boost Ball definitely saves a number of minutes in the Ridley fight, skipping all the flyby phase. So yeah, this will be a bit of a technical final bosses here. We don't have Boost Ball for Ridley. We don't have either Visor for Essence. We do have a decent super missile count and supers, which is definitely helpful for Exo. Do have always Ice Spreader, which is nice. But yeah, Ridley and Essence will be a little bit more challenging than usual. Main PBs are not locked by boost. The standable in Ruined Shrine to climb that room and the jump to the tower chamber area are in beginner logic. So you do not need boost to get up to the Tower of Light area. And Tower of Light is not even gravity locked. It is pretty much like Space Jump and Wave and missiles get you there. They do not need gravity, no. Gravity gets you up there NSJ through a bomb jump, which can occasionally come to play if you have like Boost and Spider to get use the Spider Track and Rune Shrine, but that's pretty uncommon. And on to Ridley for Diggle here. Yeah, Elias made good plays. Skipped some checks that were like I think pretty reasonable to skip, and took a lead early because of that. But yeah, Diggle's movement has just been excellent, which meant that even with doing a few extra checks that she did, was able to kind of catch up. And at that point, the check differential came back to be a problem, given that Elias is pretty much going to last location ice beam here, unfortunately. But if Ice had been somewhere along, like early in labs, then this is a different ballgame. Alright, we're into phase 2, which normally we will skip with the boost ball, but Niggle will have to go for the plasma strats here. So it is possible to hit Ridley as it's flying around, but fairly difficult. Diggle not go for the snipes instead, just spelling. I can't parse this. I'm sorry. Maybe you could ask her in the interview what Diggle was spelling there. Oh, who made this? Yeah, this is quite jet here. I think we have not been seeing that often on 313. Yeah, Ridley can definitely be a challenging fight casually, especially when Ridley kind of goes berserk towards the end of the fight there and is doing the dash patterns a lot. Like, it can be a little tricky to dodge and even trickier to get any amount of damage in. Alright, Diggle gets through the annoying phase, and we're back to our regularly scheduled missiles and charge snipes. Oh, unfortunately misses them out there, and misses the snipe. Gets it this time though, very nice. Excellently switching to Ice Beam though. Well, Elias continues to close in on this Ice Beam. This is going to be the last logical check before Vanilla Ice for Elias. There is a bug. I don't know actually what triggers the sort of invincibility for Ridley. It doesn't even only happen at 1%. It seems like it can happen kind of at any point during this last phase here. I don't really understand it, honestly. And a super missile for the kill. Very nice. Down goes Ridley. Elias is now mere rooms away in my spin and go mode. Damage? That goes from... interesting. And to Impact Crater we go. First up, the dentist's office, where hopefully Diggle will not get trolled by Jack and Jill. Elias going to opt for the wave bomb slot here, which skips that 3BJ trick that Diggle did earlier. Touch slower if you're able to get the bombs up the first try like Diggle did, and does cause a ghost layer if you come back into this room, but we know there is no universe in which you come back to this room for the ice checks, because once you find Ice Beam, you are done. Very nice climb there of Phase Encore. And into the exo fight. Yep, exo fight takes place over 4 subchambers. First one here, we have to fight a wave phase and a power phase. After that, in the second subchamber, we'll have wave, power, and ice. Following that, wave, and we'll add in plasma. And the fourth subchamber, exo can do whatever it wants. In the first phase, each stage is damage capped, but in each of these subsequent runes, you can deal damage after it kind of rears back and goes invulnerable there, and potentially get some damage either as it's running by you or on the turnaround that will count as progress towards the next phase. So ideally, given that our Wave Beam deals the least amount of damage of any of our beams, and that we don't have Wave Buster and don't want to use it anyways just because it wastes so many missiles, we'd like to skip that wave phase. So you'll see here, pretty much one Wave Beam shot is going to skip this wave phase, given the damage done by those 3 super missiles. So this was excellent for Diggle. It's to skip the slowest phase of this subchamber by use of that super missiles. And now just the ice phase here. Taking extra damage from ice means that only a couple charged shots will take this phase down as well. But it is, again, very difficult to aim these with them being slow and how much Exo likes to move around. But yeah, that was a very clean subchamber 2 there from Diggle. And Elias is on to Ridley, so we do have simultaneous final bosses. So all these considered still a pretty close race here. Elias definitely made short work of this seat as well. Ooh, unfortunately just a hair late on that turnaround super, it looked like. Didn't get the damage there. And down to 6 missiles, so we don't have access to Ice Spreader right now. But Charge Ice Beam doing plenty of damage. Alright, just the Wave Beam phase here to finish up Subchamber 3. And now Subchamber 4. So, yep, color will change randomly here, and can even change rapidly from one to another. Pretty much we just don't want to see Wave. And if we run out of missiles, we don't really want to see power either. Putting the 1 super off would be totally fine, but yeah, we'll happily take plasma here. See if they can get the run-by shot here. Nails it, nice. And the turnaround as well. Is it again. Yeah, excellent damage there during that plasma phase. Yeah, that wave going down quick. And back to plasma. We love to see it when we don't have many missiles. Just pointing out that technically we are out of logic to make final bosses here, so a little bit of asterisk here, maybe. No. Alright, and we move on to Essence. So, with neither visor, it'll be a couple pools before we even get the chance to see Essence while it is vulnerable here. But it is possible to shoot it even while it's invisible. Phazon Beam doesn't behave quite as nicely. When you have the lock on Essence, it will travel a lot farther and hit with all of its particles and deal more damage. But it is still possible to snipe it invisibly when it's invisible if you have some good aim and good luck. And wow, Diggle finds it immediately, and we'll get some damage in here. Yeah, you can see, so normally you can pretty easily deal about a quarter of its health with a pool just by firing it off like that, whereas we didn't get much damage here at all, given the unreliability of the Phazon Beam when you can't lock on. Yeah, we will have plenty of time for words in this fight. And pool number 2, this time the thermal phase, which also is unhelpful. And so, yeah, so Diggle making good use. So, one thing I know at least of the thermal phase is that it wants to spawn behind you after the pool is generated. So Diggle immediately turned around after that pool spawned and knew kind of where Essence was going to be. It actually got quite a bit of damage in there. That was really nice. And now I expect we'll see some pool cancels with the next pool once we are in the visible phase here. One of those Metroids dodged the pool. They try to grab. Oh, luckily walks in the way of Essence here, gets caught in the crossfire. Would have been a little annoying to get grabbed during this. So yeah, here's a technique here for Essence. If you walk in and out of the pool, you can get a little bit of damage out without depleting much of the sort of ammo that the pool has. And this can allow you to deal a lot more damage with the pool than otherwise should be possible. So Essence pretty low now, with a good snipe on this next visorless phase could actually finish it off. And Diggle has been doing a good job of finding it in without being able to see it. And yeah, Elias on Exo now too, so definitely a close race. Ooh, and found it. Wow. Very nice. Diggle getting a 4 pool with visorless. That's incredible. Alright, Elias forfeits here, so we will see if we can get both our runners into the call here. And we have Elias here. GG's, welcome.
Hello. GG to DiggleWrath.
Yeah, that was a pretty jet seat, honestly. I'm very surprised how convenient the items were. With Ice Beam.
Mostly convenient, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the last location Ice Beam was pretty unfortunate there.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew if it was somewhere back there, that could have cost me. It looks like it did.
And Diggle joins us as well. Welcome, Diggle. GG.
Who made this itemless final bosses seed almost?
Yeah, I am very curious where our boost and visors were, because they were not found. May well all be in cursed mines locations that were never going to be picked
All
up.
lower mines. Let's go.
So I do have a immediate question: is what were you spelling during the Ridley and Essence fights? Because I was having trouble making it out.
Hold on, I am just about to see items. Oh,
Gotcha.
How's it looking?
Those aren't good noises.
These are noises of pain.
So let's see. First, I said, "Who made this?" Then, seriously, this sucks. sobbing despair. Of course, then I still pull out the 4-pool essence. So what do I know?
Yeah, that was extremely impressive. For pooling with, pretty much every phase getting the finding it in the invisibly and shooting it.
But yeah. And
All
then-
around, though, it was a nice jaunt around the front of Talon 4.
Yeah.
Thermal in Fungal Hall Access, X-ray in Life Grove. And then where was Boost? I missed that one.
This is in Processing Center
Phase on
access. Or no,
processing
not PCA.
center.
PPC.
Okay, so you have to go to Mines, then to Life Grove if you want that visor.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yep, probably not happening.
What a seed. I think in the very first Prime Rando tournament, you and I faced each other in the last round as well. And I think
Yeah.
I think it also came down to Ice Beam.
Did it? I don't remember too much. I can
I
barely
think it
remember
was
what
like
happens at the
Ice
beginning
Beam
of
and
the seed.
Quarantine Monitor, and I went into labs, and you didn't, and I lost. But
Yeah, the biggest difference was so both of you went into labs and were very close to each other in labs. But Diggle save
I know what
warped.
the difference was.
Yeah, Diggle save warped out of Ruin Courtyard, and you went through Thardis and Quarantine Monitor. At the time, I thought Quarantine Monitor was a great thing to check because that was a possible Ice Beam location. But yeah, unfortunately, was not the answer this time.
Yeah, I was also thinking like maybe I left thermal in the back of Chozo, and so I just went ahead and did that. But
Yeah, no, the Thardis and
didn't pan
workstation.
out this time.
I figured that I would go back to Chozo and check all that. I just didn't want to waste a bunch of time fighting Thardis, and so I figured I'd leave my save at Chozo, or no, Fendrana, excuse me. And then if I didn't find anything in Chozo, I would save or reset, rather, my words, and then fight Thardis. I would have to pick up the main Plaza artifact again, but I think
Yeah,
that
I
was...
mean, the back of Chozo was my last and final stop there of bulk checks. But I figured as long as I was just there in the middle of Fendrana, I might as well could have checked the Thardis items in the workstation, and then I pretty much warped to start and tailed behind.
Yeah, no, excellent race from both of you. Your movement was really cool to watch. Both of you played extremely well.
I look forward to watching at least the first part back.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't have anything
Well, who
else
knows?
to say.
Maybe we'll get a rematch here in that bracket. Let's see.
Right?
Yeah, I think you're both pretty well positioned to move on. Diggle certainly with 5 wins.
Diggle is
Yeah.
very well positioned to move on.
Yeah, this was the winning in for both of us. 5-1 is guaranteed to make it. 4 and 2 is some will make it.
Yep. So Elias actually helped us out making a spreadsheet to kind of theory craft, kind of wild card round
Right.
sports simulation kind of style. And it looked like you were in pretty good shape, even from here to make it in. So
Yeah, I
hopefully,
just need everyone who has ever faced me before to do well this round, and I'll be good. So you know who you are.
Yeah, for those of you who have faced me, you should win so you can piggyback off of my good record. Anyways, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm just gonna go watch this again.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing brutal except the sort of just vanilla ice beam.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
must say
Well,
though
and just
about
lack
Wave
of
Beam.
going fast.
Oh, that too. I must say about Wave Beam, I am always skeptical whenever I see Vanilla Wave because I once, like a long time ago, I got pranked by Ice Beam at Vanilla Wave, and I couldn't tell the two apart at a distance, and I soft locked, and that was a seed. It didn't happen in a race, so it was just a practice seed, but still, I never forgot that.
Yeah, I've had that fear as well.
I wasn't as concerned. I found plasma before Phazon and ended up checking like Root Cave and then doubling back before I found Phazon suit. And so I get plasma. I'm like, okay, this is really good, but I still got Phazon suit. I still got super missiles. And then I get Phazon suit. I'm like, wow, great. Okay. Well, I still need supers. So let's not celebrate yet. And then I get supers after Wave B. I'm just like, man, I just need ice. This is nice. This is a nice scene.
Fortunately, ice was not very nice.
Yeah, well, if that was the worst thing to have occurred, I'm fine with it.
I was
Yeah.
actually shocked by the power bomb location. I was like, oh, it must have like placed all the beams and then put power bombs somewhere cursed like vanilla for you to come back to Shore Tunnel. And as I was saying that, Diggle found them in Tower Flight. I'm like, or not.
Yeah. I thought the game was also going to make me do Essence with only one power bomb and just have to deal with the Metroid spawns. Fortunately, that came through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess if there's not anything else, be sure to give both these runners a follow. They did a great job tonight. Thanks as well to Op and CZeek for tracking. Appreciate it. And feel free to check out our Discord as well if you're interested in getting into this randomizer.
Yeah, we have
it's
an
a good time.
URL now for Discord. You should use that.
That's cool.
Yeah. For my part, I'm gonna hop off now. See you in the brackets.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. GG's. And I guess with that, yeah, we got a bunch more matches coming up this week, so stay tuned. Thank you all for